Hi, good day, good night, good evening, depending on what time you happen to be watching this. Welcome to another episode of House of Stars. I am your girl Star, and today, as you can see from the title, I am doing a reading on Bobby Brown. Um, I saw an article, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday I saw an article, I think it was his 2020 interview that he did. And I know he made some accusations, or not accusations, but he made statements of having sex with ghosts and stuff like that, And I wanted to delve in a little bit more and like what goes on around him and things like that, because usually that's kind of stuff that they say ghost, or I guess they use that word lack thereof as a lighter version of what really it is. And pretty much what they do engage is with succubus. Now, I'm going to state this, and this is to each his own, okay? A lot of people that are a part of the occult actually do engage with, engage in relations, whether it be sexual, whether it be a personal relationship, whether it be a relationship to gain finances or riches with creatures of the other realm, okay? So the fact that I know that he would meant something like that, just shows that he would obviously have access to some kind of elite type of group in some occult form. Call it what you will. I'm not going to call it, you can call it the Illuminati, you can call it whatever it is. At the end of the day, regardless of what our choices, not our choices, but our opinions on what these elite occult groups consist of, we really don't know what goes on behind the scenes. So we could only assume based on certain things that we do see. But I felt, you know what, I'm going to go really deep into it. Not really going to go into that area. I'm just going to see what's around him. I feel like there's going to probably be some Whitney Houston there as well. So let me just pull up the picture here. The picture I have is of Bobby and Whitney. Okay, so Bobby Brown is born February 5th, 1969, which shows that he's born under the sun sign of Aquarius. Okay, so let me just tap into his energy because I want to go really deep in this one. Okay, so the first thing I see about Bobby Brown, and this shows up in the news, of course, Bobby Brown is a person that I feel like he has a very aloof attitude. I feel like he's very intelligent, like he's a very smart person. I feel like he also has very good intuitive abilities. Like I feel like he's like a natural psychic in certain ways. He gets a lot of visions, and he does get dreams about certain situations. He knows something's gonna happen. When it comes to what I see about him, I feel like when it comes to Whitney Houston, I feel like he kind of knew beforehand that eventually what was going to happen is that she was going to pass. Now, depending on who you talk to, I'm just going to state my opinion. I don't feel that Whitney died of an overdose. I feel like Whitney was murdered. And this is something that he knew over time. But I feel like this is something that he kind of was warned intuitively. To be honest, I feel like the reason why he's actually done this interview that he has is because a part of him doesn't feel like he has much time himself. Okay. It all depends on, when it comes to the universe, there's no such thing as time, but to himself, he doesn't feel like he has much more time left. Okay. Like he doesn't think that he's going to be around for much longer. What I do see about him is that I do feel like there's a lot of things that he will see and understand. I feel like when it came to Whitney Houston, especially when they were in a relationship, I feel like she was more of the person that where he would try to warn her about certain things, and kind of steer her onto game of what really was going on. Is like she would take it as a form of paranoia. Okay. And I feel like he battled that a lot. I think he suffered a lot with anxiety issues or phobias or things like that. Anxiety is usually what I think was really big for him, and usually that kind of stems out of having profound cocaine use. There's a level of different anxieties that do develop out of that. So yeah, I do see that. Of course, it's like I do see that there's anxiety around him and stuff, and I do feel like really what's going on around him right now is that he kind of feels like things are being kept and held away from him. Okay, this is something that's been going on in the family for a very long time. I feel like the reason why things are kept and held away from him because he's a person that kind of just acts on things right away. Like if he sees something wrong, he's going to be right away in there to try to fix it. I see legal issues as well. I know that, you know, Bobby Christina did pass, and I don't know if there's any disputes over the estate or anything like that, but I do see legal issues as well. And I see finances being an issue. When it comes to the relationship that he had between Whitney and him, regardless, you have to understand that there was a lot of drugs that was involved in this relationship, which obviously would kind of taint the connection that they had. But these are people that actually loved each other very deeply because they were like living soulmates. You know what I mean? This is not the first time. I don't believe this is the first time that they actually been together in this life. They've actually have a past life together, and that's the reason why they mend so tightly. What I do see is that I feel like he's tried to channel her before. I feel like he tries to connect with her to find different answers. And I feel like she's trying to reach out to him and give him answers. Scared to hear or see or feel exactly what's going to be said to him, because Whitney, she has a very strong channel. You know what I mean? I feel like when you do channel her and bring her voice through, her voice is very strong. When I say her voice is very strong, I mean like her message and everything she has to say, she's very clear with the things that she's trying to say. I don't know why I'm picking up something that has to do with like a bad business deal or a bad connection that was made with somebody else. And I feel like a bad deal or a bad connection has been made with somebody else is kind of the reason why Bobby is leading down the road that he is leading down right now. And it's one of those things where I don't feel like it's a road that's really that's going to lead him very much to a greater place. I kind of feel like it's come to a point where it's like he kind of doesn't have any he doesn't have any choice to go where he needs to go. It's kind of like he's just kind of pacing through until he feels his final days are going to come. Because it's like he just has no pickup wherever he is right now. But I just feel like there's a lot of fear around him. A lot of fear. You're going to start to hear him say and tell and expose a lot of things. He may not expose them in certain ways of, maybe he won't say things the exact same way, but if you read between the lines, you'll know exactly what he's talking about. Because I just feel like he feels like before he gets out of here, he has to say what he has to say. Okay? And it's funny, I'm saying this, I'm not saying this as I'm trying to predict or say that he's going to die, but I know for damn sure he feels he's going to. When it comes to the part of he's going to, I usually don't like to predict that stuff. But he, in himself, he does not feel like he has that much time to go. I feel like he thinks August is when it's going to be. You know what I mean? In a month of August. I don't know if it's going to be like August of this year or next year, but he feels like something like that is going to happen. Like, you know, that may be his final call. I feel like there is also kind of talks of him doing a concert with a celebrity, or some kind of concert that he's think about doing. Was There's been talks of a business with somebody that he's worked with in the past. I do feel like there could be a possibility of maybe of a performance or anything like that happening, but whatever it may be that comes up for him is not something that I feel that is going to be long lived. Okay. He's very, very hurt and distraught over, like, he's completely confused over the whole Whitney and Bobby Christina death. Like, it's like he's like just like, I feel like he feels like he's lost a part of himself. And I know that there's accusations that he's been making accusations that somebody else, like her boyfriend, has something to do with her death. The accusations of where he feels that in a certain sense, but there's a lot of power that's behind that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff that's hidden behind that that is not being said. But as for Whitney, I just feel like, you know, they're like, there's still love there, and there's still loving energies, and they are around them. He does feel them around them, and I do feel a mother presence, another maternal presence that's around him as well. Just really trying to dig him out of this hole, but I feel like it's like he's so far in the hole, like he doesn't even really want to come out of it. You know what I mean? It's like he thinks that he's really like walking towards the end here, is what I'm seeing. A part of with the succubuses and things like that, again, like I said, I feel like, you know, they were people that were associated and affiliated themselves with the elite. Well, less, I feel like some kind of elite type of group that more or less gears towards black people, because I feel like a lot of the people that were a part of this elite group were predominantly African American. I feel like there's a number of celebrities that were involved in that, and I feel like that's where he gained that ability to do, or had that access to do something like that, where he had sex with spirits and things like that. I do also feel like he has been involved in some kind of rituals of some sort. I feel like he has done magic in the past, but it's not like he's connected to the magic that he does. Like, I don't feel like it was one of those things where it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to do this candle, I'm going to do that. Like, he knew specific spells. Like, I feel like it was more or less like, okay, whoever was doing it for him, did it for him, and then he did the necessary work that he had to do in order to keep it up. So that's what I do see there. Overall, what I do see for him is I feel like he feels like there's time. It's like he feels like he's about to go, but at the same time, as a part of there's progression there. I do feel like there's going to be more interviews that are going to be coming up as well. I don't know why I'm seeing him like storm off. Like, I don't know if somebody asked him a question. I don't know. I didn't see the 2020 interview. I don't know if that happened in it. But I see somebody asking him something and he just storms off. Like, he just takes off. You know what I mean? And I just see a car, and then it's weird. I see it's in a weird way. I just see a car speeding. I don't know why. I just got that image as well. But I feel like it's like he's going to come to a point where he's going to really want to have to tell the truth. And I feel like there is going to be a friend or somebody that's a male that is going to speak on his behalf of some of the truth that he did want to discuss. But yeah, that's what I pretty much see for Bobby Brown. I just feel like overall, like, I just see like his life force is flickering. There's like the energy around him is not light. You know what I mean? A lot of it is just really, he's really buried himself into a hole. But I do feel like, yeah, again, he knows exactly what happened to his wife and his child, his ex-wife and his child, and that's not helping him at all get through life. So yeah, that's it. That's just a quick reading I wanted to give on Bobby Brown. I hope you guys liked it. If you have any questions or concerns, leave it in the comment box and I'll be able to answer them there. Again, if you want to book a reading with me, you can always hit me up on my House of Stars page on Facebook, or hit me up via email, which all that's in the description box. Also, follow me on Twitter. I believe everything is in the description box. Sometimes I'm there and I talk to some of the subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please